On this auspicious occasion, Wanjiru Mureithi's speech title is Snow on Kilimanjaro. Snow on Kilimanjaro, Wanjiru Mureithi.
We all have that one auspicious friend, the one who wears real, genuine designer clothes, some of which I'm glad to have been a beneficiary of. The one who runs a multinational, multi-million-dollar corporation. The one who is Ivy League educated and keeps reminding us at every turn. The one who unceasingly corrects our grammar to make sure we have the right tenses and intonations. I have that one friend. Her name is Jane Nkalanzi Snow. Mrs. Snow to you, she reminds me. Jane is Ugandan born, but lives in Silicon Valley in California. Now, when you meet Jane and I together, you will be wondering, what do these two have in common? Because for those who know me, I fall very short on the qualities I have described of her, don't I? However, I found myself as the unlikely coach of her most important expedition to summit Mount Kilimanjaro. And I will share some aspects of Mrs. Snow on Kilimanjaro. Now, I climbed Kilimanjaro myself for a big birthday celebration a few years ago. And of course, as you talk about it, you talk about the triumph and the magical moments, never the drudgery and the pain and the fear you feel when climbing that mountain. I think that is how somehow Mrs. Snow got inspired to do the same. She wanted us to do it together, but once bitten, twice shy. I'm saving my energy for Ruwenzori. However, her coaching process over a period of a year taught me three things as I went through the three processes that I will share with you today. There was the challenge, the strategy, and the result. The challenge. Mountain climbing is a bit like pregnancy and childbirth. No matter how well detailed anybody tells you about the experience, you will have to go through your own personal experience to create your opinions, because it is a very personal thing. Now, we knew what was ahead of us. There was a mountain, extreme conditions, multi-day challenge with a very big last day, the childbirth being the summit upon the snow-capped Mount Kilimanjaro. Albert Einstein said, "A ship is safest at shore." However, that's not what it's built for. So clearly, Mrs. Snow was taking on this challenge to do something she had never done before. And on that mountain, there are many firsts that you have to prepare for. So we had this plan about to go on ahead conquering this challenge. Secondly, the strategy. Now, my high maintenance friend, Mrs. Snow, needs evidence and facts, more like a presentation in an Ivy League MBA class, for you to convince her to do anything. When I climbed Kilimanjaro, it was more like go with the flow and we will see the rest happen, but not for her. She wanted to know the routes. She wanted the names, addresses, DNA, police records of the crew, which we were of course organizing remotely. Half the time she was training in California for something that was happening in East Africa, and we had to keep her very well updated. The gear, remember she likes labels, was a very important thing as well. So in curating the experience, we had to be very clear in our language. And that is when I learned my second lesson while dealing with Mrs. Snow. Timothy Leary, a psychologist, says, you cannot use butterfly language on caterpillars. Everybody who was going to be involved in this mission had to understand Mrs. Snow's personality and be clear how to communicate with her. On her part, she had a very meticulous training program that was almost at elite level. She seemed to be like Michelle Obama combined with Eliud Kipchoge. You know, the poise on one end and the determination and discipline on the other hand. So we had to be very clear how we communicated the goals and how we made sure she met the requirements for the challenge. Which brings me to the third thing, the results. Mrs. Snow was a one-person climber with a team of 12 guides, cooks, porters, and chefs. 12 people for one person. Very different from my experience when I was climbing. We chose the Machame route, which is the quote, quote, luxurious route, which had the bandas for her comfort during the stay. She had decked out in Patagonia. Oh, I wish I could own that outfit myself as she climbed the mountain. The results were this. She did summit up to the second highest point and not the top. Which brings me to my third lesson from the coach Phil Jackson of the Chicago Bulls. And I will paraphrase it for mountain climbing. Life, like mountain climbing, is messy and unpredictable. You will experience things that require decision-making and experiences with a clear mind and an open heart. With this, at the end of the day, everything works out. I can imagine the alpha super competitive Jane Snow being told to turn back because of altitude sickness. I wouldn't want to have been in that position to do that job, but gladly she did because I have lost a friend on Kilimanjaro. Jane safely disembarked down the mountain and came to be with us to celebrate this great feat and achievement. I'm sure she will be back. Which brings me to my last lesson of this coaching journey. Serena Williams says, success is measured in different ways. I got Jane to be the first snow on Kilimanjaro, Madam Toastmaster.